Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. If y'all didn't know, it's still hot in North Carolina. My God. So in this video, where I'm headed to is an open parking lot, a parking lot where I could conduct a chalk test. If y'all don't know, and if y'all are not running 37s, they're very expensive tires, very expensive to replace. You could purchase certificates or insurance to ensure that you have your tires taken care of, whether it's punctured or they just don't last as long as they claim. And I've done this on my Ram, on the Cooper XLT. I did them also with the Nitos that I had on the truck. They were 35s. Those were also the Ridge Grapplers that I had on that truck. And there were different PSI, different tire pressures. And so what is the chalk test? I do have another video on this, but I was thinking about it. Every tire is different, and the weight of the F250 is different as well. And so there's plenty of other variables that get in the way in terms of how can you ensure that your tires last the longest that they possibly can, because those tires ain't cheap. They ain't cheap for anyone. So the chalk test will ensure that the correct tire pressure is upheld because of the weight of the vehicle. So the front of the truck is obviously going to be heavier than the rear. The majority of my driving is unloaded, not towing. I mean, obviously it doesn't take me long to heat up the tires because my normal commute is about 40 minutes there and then 40 minutes back. So that's what I want to ensure, is that my tires are, there's nothing in the truck. Just basically the same way as you actually drive your truck. This is exactly the same way I want to do this chalk test. I just got an alignment. If you don't have, if it's been a while since you've done an alignment, I would probably get that done just to ensure that, that's a big deal with trying to ensure that your tires last the longest. But I just got an alignment yesterday, and so it's fresh off the alignment rack. I got brand new tires, so it's about time to do the chalk test. So once I get to this parking lot, I'm going to go ahead and get that started and actually show you what I am about. Oh, by the way, this is the first time I'm videotaping in this truck. I have the camera on a handle with my hand resting on top of a water bottle. It's definitely not bad, but I can see myself doing more videos as I'm driving, just showing y'all what's going on. Because most of my videos, sometimes I'm just sitting down, just being boring, rambling like I am right now. Alright guys, so I am at a parking lot, so let's get started with this chalk test. Alright, so what you're going to need, some chalk, something to release some air pressure, I got a knife, and then a tire pressure gauge. Manual, this one's digital, this one goes up higher than this one. All the tire pressures are set at 60, so let's go ahead and actually set yourself up. It's going to go 100 feet forward, 100 feet back, and it should be able to give me a good reading in terms of how much pressure, or is there even tire wear as the truck continues to go forward. All right guys, you're gonna want to do something like this. Make sure you got the outsides and just all around. Make sure that you got enough chalk on there to actually see the difference once it comes off. So this is how all four of the tires look like. Just walked around, did something like this. At least four of the siping or the tread on each tire, so I can get a good reading off of each tire. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go up to that fence line and then reverse back and see the difference in change with how much tread is actually evenly putting pressure onto the ground with each revolution. Alright, so just finished that. Here's the tread. It looks like center's not doing too bad. The edges are, it looks like I got about an inch to work with, where it's a little heavier, maybe 3/4 of an inch for the rear. So the rears are looking not too bad, but you can tell if it's overinflated a little bit, it's going to be heavier off to these edges of the tire. If it's underinflated, the edges of the tire are actually going to be, you won't be able to see them as much, so it'll be vice versa with these looks. Alright, so here's the front. As you can see, this looks very, very even the way it is right now. Alright, so I kind of like the way this already looks. Let's go confirm this on the passenger side. Alright, so it looks very similar to the driver's side, so that's good. As you can see, the edges right here. Yes, you can. Now you can see it. It's a full even tread across the tire. So maybe I can show you something like that. I like the way this looks. This looks pretty good with the tire pressure that it has in it right now. Passenger side, this looks like I can take out air. I'm probably going to start with 5. Let's do what removing 5 psi off of this tire looks like. I'm going to go ahead and re-chock all tire, confirm it, make sure that this rear tire looks like the front after this drop in tire pressure. Alright guys, so here's round 2. Went ahead and re-chocked all the 4 tires. So let's go ahead and get this going. See what we got. Well, that doesn't look too bad. You can see the sides are a little bit heavy still, but not too bad. I may want to drop those just a little bit more and do a round 3. Let's go ahead and go confirm that the fronts look good, very even on the edges. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. I think the temperature that I ended up with the front was about 60 psi is what gets me this. That looks pretty good. This one's still a little heavy on the edges, showing that's a little overinflated with the amount of weight that's on this tire tread. So I'm going to drop this, let's see, I dropped 5. It looks about the same. Let me go ahead and probably drop it another 5, and I think I will be good with where that's sitting at. Round 3. Alright, so let's check it out. That looks a little better off to the edges now. I'm at about maybe 1/4 of an inch from the side, so that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, and that's already 10 psi less than the fronts, which is usually the way it happens. And here, this is, again, just the very, very edge of the tires. So that looks pretty good. I think right now I'm right at around 50 psi. And I think the fronts are right around 60. I'll go ahead and confirm it. I'll put a note right here. Guys, that's pretty much it. That's a chalk test. So now my tires are set up for the remainder of its life to last the longest, based off of the way I drive, what I drive, the kind of roads I drive on. So a lot of variables go into this, but it's a very simple test, a very simple procedure that you can do to ensure that your tires last the longest. I think each one of these tires is like 350, and so I want them to last as long as they can. Every time you get a tire rotation, what you're gonna have to do is just adjust or tell the tire shop, hey, I want 60 psi up in the front, or whatever the final tire pressure psi is for these tires. I want 60 up in the front, and I want 50 in the rear. All right, guys, I'm sweating more than Horn Church. I'll go ahead and do another video here soon. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you're doing this to your tires, or you're probably slaughtering your tires. Anyways, hey, do you, and I'll make another video soon. Stay tuned.